you need to say something before we start, I think we're pretty much ready to go into the games.
I mean, the only thing is, I guess you need to screen share.
I can do that if you want.
Because I can join the replay, because it's a replay. So you can't be in a group to join
Yeah, I
it,
know.
right?
I know. That's up. I can share my screen or not. It's up to you. Yeah, everything's pre-recorded, Zero Wolf. There's nothing that's there. I'm not going to be doing predictions because I don't trust everyone in this to not cheat.
But yeah, share screen. That would be the best.
Okay. Alrighty, there you go. It's perfect. Awesome. Okay, let's go into. Let me make sure I have everything set. We're gonna go into Vortix versus B, game number 1, which is on a map, and I don't know. So it's Roos versus HRE. We're just gonna go right into it. I don't want to. I don't know the results of any of this, so being smart about it here. So Roos versus Holy Roman Empire. Let's pause for a second here just to make sure. On the map, Tempe. So Miss Ibs, your map gets to be played first today. All right.
Good.
I think we're ready to begin. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So up here we have. Oh, man. Okay. We'll fix that real quick. Score. I knew I was forgetting something. There's always something, I swear. Again, professional caster, everything. B versus Vortix, 0-0. Sorry, YouTube, if you see this, but it's okay. It would have driven you guys crazy too.
Yeah. I mean, so Tempe, to me, honestly, I think a lot of people, it's like the general consensus in the community is that it's just better ulti.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what the map is.
I mean,
It's just a better altai. I mean, it's kind of like not really much else to add. The only difference is there's 4 boars and then there's 4 sacred sites. So there's 1 extra sacred site and then 2 extra boars compared to normal maps. Thanks, Puppy, for the raid, by the way. Welcome, everyone. My co-caster is Cow.
Yeah, I finally managed to sneak on. So, ooh, this is pretty interesting for B, actually. That's a really good position to have a hunting cabin.
Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to explain real quick on the match real quick. So it is HRE versus Roos. 3DB being Roos, Vortix being HRE. I personally view this as a difficult matchup for HRE. I know when I play this map as Roos, I feel really good, and when I play against Roos as HRE, I don't feel very good. What do you think of this matchup?
I'm usually the one on the HRE side, and honestly, to a certain extent, whenever I play against Roos, I'm somewhat thinking I'm playing against French, just because of those knights. Of course, they're weaker, but I don't know. I like the early aggression from Roos personally, so I'm just gonna say Roos.
Okay, well wait.
And
You said you favored HRE and then you switched to Roos at the end there. Which is it?
yeah.
This you cannot change your mind. You have to have a
Okay, so
definitive answer.
specifically on this map, I favor the Roos because of the extra bounty that's available.
Okay.
It's also the fact that on this map specifically, you have a lot more smaller wood lines. So you can potentially get a really, really good hunting cabin.
Yeah, I realized, it's kind of funny. A lot of the top players don't do what like Louis and Yui do, where they chop into the center of the wood and place the hunting cabin. B's just kind of doing the very standard, which this is going to be standard anyway come next month. Everyone's going to be doing this now since the hunting cabin nerf. But he rushed that up right next to the deers, and then he's got, I believe he's made 3 scouts, and now he's just kind of going for his little, going hunting.
Yeah, so with what Faye calls the choppy build, it came quite late with and getting popularity, right? So I feel like people like, okay, yeah, it's a good strategy, but I'm not gonna bother practicing it because it will be gone soon anyways, right?
Yeah.
But this Kremlin placement,
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting Kremlin placement. I mean, I get the thought process behind it. It's going to defend the gold. It kind of defends the front gold. And you still will get that the wooden fortress bonus for, I don't know about the second, the right side trees, but definitely the left side trees. So, kind of an interesting one. I'm not sure I personally would put it there, but that's where kind of B's putting his. And then we see a Akin Chapel for Vortix, who is actually going up with 6 villagers. Now,
Yeah, it's a really one.
okay, I was about to say, do we think
yeah.
that Vortix is going to go 2 TC? And it looks like he is, which is what I would do as HRE in this situation, in this matchup.
Yeah, you can definitely do that quite safe, right? I mean, you've done it a lot, right? With finding out new rules builds this season, seeing 2 town centers. It's kind of sad seeing 2 town center Rus with Golden Gate go, but it makes a lot of sense with the changes that happened. But oh, yeah, we do see 2 town centers from both players.
Yeah, this is going about how I'd expect. In general, going 1 TC fast castle feels kind of bad as HRE against Rus usually. A good Rus player can deny the relics for a very, very, very long time. And it honestly, I feel like in a lot of Rus versus HRE games, Rus gets 3 or 4 of the relics a lot of the time. And HRE can only get 1 or 2. And then they're behind a town center, so it's not like they've had a good eco going behind it. So it's a very difficult, that's why I think the 2 TC play by Vortix is a great play. Whether it'll be enough, I'll be interesting what he does afterwards. I'm kind of expecting kind of a... I mean, it's Vortix. He's a very aggressive player. B, also a very aggressive player. So I kind of expect both of them to be maybe doing a bit of feudal play.
Yeah, I wonder what that guy was doing. Possibly walling in the relics, I would assume.
I think that's exactly what that villager's off to do. And I think that's exactly what you should be doing as Rus. Because HRE, it's very hard for HRE to deny the walling in the relics, especially when going 2 TC. Because Knights, Rus is normally going to have archers. And then the nice thing about walling in the relics is they have, what is it, 2.5k health? So they take a while to burn down.
Oh, B here. Oh, not B. Oh. I was about to say that's a really good scout position right there, and yeah.
Yeah, they need that. So actually,
wait, no, look where he's walling. Yeah,
he's doing the Altai version of walls, which is, this isn't the first time we've seen this in this tournament. Definitely a very common strategy. Definitely. So I mean, it's still annoying, right? Because now to get those relics, he has to go all the way around to grab that relic or burn this wall down, and they have 2,500 health. So we know how long that will be. In theory, I'm surprised Vortix didn't pull a bill.
Actually, I would actually like to say that he can actually just go straight over the mountain there. Can he not?
He could if he chops down this tree.
Oh, it's close. It's really close.
I think if he... I can't tell. It's hard to tell.
It's really hard to tell, but the only, like, good thing for Vortix is that he still can get the relic. They're not completely walled off, so he can go around. We'll see if B actually continues his walling and tries to go even further with the walls. Could happen, potentially.
Yeah, wow. Okay, that feels like a very late second TC by B. Even for the Kremlin start, I feel like this is a super late town center. I don't think it should be starting this late. So this is actually really good for Vortix because it looks to me like Vortix is planning on just, if we look at the villager count, he does still have 6 villagers on wood, but I feel like he's trying to go for more of a castle. At least that's my guess. It's hard to say.
He's not going to on sheep right now. But
yeah.
it's kind of one of the reasons it sucks a little bit going to town centers as HRE, because like you really want that prelate boosting up your eco, but when you do go town centers, you pretty much on every map move out of range of it anyways. So those there, if you just have a prelate there, it's gonna be, it could have been so juicy, but unfortunately we don't have that right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Vortix is not going for a fast castle. He's rallying villagers to wood still, so... Oh, no, and then he pulls some for food and gold, so I'm not sure. I guess he's just going to get a barracks for the early knights. Surprisingly, B doesn't actually have... So he just took the boar, but I'm not seeing any production buildings from B at all. In fact, it almost looks to me like B is also going to go for a fast castle, so he's not going to make any early knights. Doesn't look like he's going to deny any sort of try to get those knights to deny relics. Which is
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a false sense of security actually with those relics with the wall, right? Could potentially villager.
I mean, I definitely think you have to go feudal knights or something, because if you just skip it like B's doing, H or E, if Vortix had gone straight for a fast castle straight up with 2 TC, he would be almost aged up by about 930.
Yep. But he's doing a stop by getting his upgraded spearman, getting wheelbarrow as well. So
yeah,
could've
so
been
very
quicker.
very curious. So now it looks like Vortex is definitely going for a castle. He made a barracks. He's made a couple spearmen. And we're still, I'm just looking around, and yeah, not a single production building for B. So B's just going to go fast castle as well. And since Vortex kind of was, I think he was expecting feudal aggression, which is very common. He kind of slowed down his age up a little bit, and so there still will be a fight for the relics, despite the fact that B will actually age up first.
Yeah, and well, I'll have to see when the age of timing happens, but I would honestly be pretty happy with if I was being Vortex right now. Ooh, there's the Okay.
He's pulling 13 villagers, high trade house.
And
I don't hate the high trade house play.
no, as I was talking about, right, with this spawn, or sorry, this map specifically with Tempe, you can get some good hunting cabinet placements, and you can definitely get some good high trade house placements. Would not. I'm gonna say like 250. That feels like a lot. Definitely less, but I'm gonna say 250.
Yeah, I don't know what B's. I don't know what B's. Man, what's it called? What's that word? A bounty is, but I guess we'll find out in a moment. And we do see the Regnants coming out for Vortex as expected. It's very difficult because it's just Vortex's age up is just a little bit late, and so it'll be interesting to see. So 180 gold for that high trade house, not bad at all. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have 3. Puppy Paw says 180. Wait, for the high trade house, you probably cheated.
Yeah, boy, I mean. But so about this map specifically, right? It's a bit, for me, it's a bit weird we don't see Delhi on this map. And honestly, I think a lot of that utilization or the lack thereof actually comes down to the fact that there is 4 boars and Delhi can't use it straight up. But we do have Vortex moving out, getting those relics. We'll see if B is able to deny any to warrior monks in Q and a knight out already.
Yep, that first relic will be denied. I will say the reason why I think you don't see Delhi on this map is it's a very obvious pick, and China's a very common map civ pick on this map, and so if you pick Delhi and your opponent picks China, it's such a difficult matchup that I think you don't want to be you don't want to be predictable, because Roos also plays well into Delhi right now, so that also is a factor. But here we go. We have some knights. Spearmen, we see a few militia. Looks like, let's see if, okay, B does notice it. He's going to go for the relic. He should be able to snag that one.
Should be pretty happy with that one.
But Vortex should be able to get the center one.
Yeah,
can you convert militia?
I think so.
Ooh, those militia might kill that, actually.
I mean, I would have to think so. Why wouldn't it?
Okay.
But
yeah, no try, so I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
We do see some walls from Vortex, more knights coming out. Nothing too unusual yet.
I mean, it's just the standard fight that's happening right now, really, of just who can get the relics right and how many.
No.
Oh no! Oh, that is really good and sneaky by B there.
That is so. Ooh, that Vortex is going to be kicking himself for not preventing that. He knew that was there. He might be able to snag it, but B is aware of this threat, so he's just going to hide in the stealth forest. He might even go all the way around now, or nope.
Oh.
He's just hoping. Sneaky. Yeah, that's a very nice sneak away. We do see the farm transition starting to come out for Vortix again, very expected. But I think that even if he kills this warrior monk, it's
Yeah.
he's not getting that relic.
No, not happening.
We do see a
And
raid on
honestly,
the left-hand side.
yeah, I think a lot of eco here though, which is good. Did idle the high trade house eco as well, so no dare gathering. It's and honestly, as against the HRE specifically when they do go Regnits, denying them and having them yourself is kind of the same thing. You're denying so much gold right now, right?
Yeah, and look at this. B is going for these 2 relics on the sides. It looks like Vortix isn't going to get a single relic this game. And this is the difficult part about this matchup as HRE is, like I said, it's very common for Roos to deny and get 3 to 4 of the 5 relics. But the fact he's going to get all 5, that's brutal.
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna take. I kind of want to say Warrior Monk's OP, but B is just playing this so well that he would be happy anyways. Right now, it really hurts, right? Because with the amount of infantry that Vortix actually is producing, to a certain extent, I would be like, yeah, the burger would have been doing better right now.
Yeah. Now, if you look at Vortix's situation, he has killed 10 villagers, so that's nice. That doesn't quite take away the high trade house, which is worth over 2 relics, plus 5 relics. So I still favor B's position. But I think Vortix has been taking some decent trades. If you actually look at the... Actually, never mind. I was going to say something
Value.
Oh, that is destruction value.
Yeah, you're correct, right? It's double the destruction value, so he's definitely trading better into these engagements. The question is, right, with those relics, with the high trade house ticking and all that, right? Can he keep it up? Of course, he will get the sacred sites because he probably just realizes there's no point in trying to contest them.
And the funny thing is, he actually could have taken that relic that B just took. I think he could have been able to sneak in there and grab that. Too late now. Villager's even going to deny the sacred site. Army's coming up, so that sacred site's going to be denied. And B is actually going to take the sacred site to the right over there.
Yeah. And honestly, right now, he's just floating so much gold right now. A market drop. Yeah, it will be fine with that. Just buy some food, because right now, that's the only thing struggling, really. Just make knights and archers, and you could really overwhelm your opponent.
We have a raid on the left, and the reason why is because B has 16 villagers on gold for some reason. I'm not sure why. Kind of miss macro, a little bit of a miss macro from him, I think. You know, not having resources in the correct, or villagers off of gold at this point, but... Wow, that was the first villager kill of that raid right there, by the way.
Damn, yeah. Could have got more, but that's the thing, right? You usually don't expect having this much passive gold income, so to a certain extent you're kind of just relying on gut feeling and how many villagers you kind of need to do the things you want to do, but right now you just have so much.
Yep, and the 5th relic's being picked up by B. B has lost 14 villagers to the 1 of Vortix, so, you know, villager-wise, Vortix is looking good. Military-wise, they are about even for now. But I suspect that may change. We do see a market here, so I imagine lots of food or wood or whatever will be needed. We do see men-at-arms. And I actually really do like the men-at-arm addition by B. This is something I've started doing recently against HRE, is, yes, in a straight-up fight, HRE men-at-arms are going to crush these, right? But these men-at-arms aren't to beat his men-at-arms. It's to tank the damage so that your crossbows can kill the men-at-arms while having a meat shield. And that way there's not a hard counter like spears, hard counter knights. But what hard counters men-at-arms? It's crossbows. And HRE typically doesn't make a lot of crossbows.
Or range units for that matter. Yeah, that's a good train of thought. I was about to say, yeah, that kind of... Ooh, that villager's not going to last long. But yeah, as you were saying, right, you're just mixing them in. Same with the lunge connector, right? It's like, yeah, they're gonna be targeted down and they're super squishy, but that's not the point. You just want to get 1 or 2 slashes off, get that AoE damage, and you force the opponent to do micro, right? And if they're not that good at micro, well, this is being Vortix, so that really doesn't count. But you force them into doing something.
Yeah, and
And
the other nice thing though is also men-at-arms don't die as quickly to land snakes as, you know, spears do, or
very
crossbows.
true. Very true. But yeah, I think Vortix right now, despite having the eco lead, having the earlier town center, having really good raids, getting a lot of villagers off of B, his passive income and his income in general right now is not a lot better. So I think Vortex right now with the Regnit's choice, yes, it's the quote-unquote correct thing to do, but with how the game has been played out, yeah, it's just gonna be sad they didn't go Burger.
Well, yeah, he's sad he didn't get any relics. I do think he could have. He just made a few mistakes. I kind of let Beast steal a couple of the relics. I think he should have gotten at least 2. But it's, you know, it's easy to say as an observer. I know from playing, you don't know everything, so it's very easy not to realize some of these things. And horsemen running to their deaths right here. And B's army is starting to look pretty scary here.
Yeah, 14 minute arms, 10 spearmen, so that front line is gonna be really, really tanky with those knights as well.
Yeah,
You have a pretty decent mass, and
yeah.
what unit is that?
Most of these units are spearmen, some horsemen, 7 land snakes, 5 crossbows. So we do see some crossbows coming out for Vortix here.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. I actually don't know the model of HRE range units, but there we have them. So B though, he's trying to extend the walls, right, and get more and more map control. We can see how he's walled in right now. He's walled in pretty much the entire left side, has walled in 2 sacred sites for himself, really trying to get a third one. And right now, Vortex, 0 passive income.
Yeah, and I don't think this fight will go good for Vortix if he takes it. Just from knowing experience, those men-at-arms are going to do very well against this unit composition. And there's 6... How many men-at-arms? There's 20 men-at-arms.
20, yeah, 20 men-at-arms. Just the launch connect here, they're trying their best to get through something here. We do see Vortex deleting the wall there on the side to try to get some more access here. We do have the horsemen as well, though, trying their best to try to get in on the action, but the crossbow numbers too insane. The militia has been called as well, so they're going to be even swinging the fight even in more of B's favor.
Yeah, and that was a one-sided fight, and the reason being, those men-at-arms. He only lost 4 of those, or 6 men-at-arms in that engagement. Yeah. And they tanked all the damage, and yeah, and that's GG.
Yeah. Yeah, very well played from B from start to finish there, doing a really good job controlling the relics. That early wall on the left side there, if that didn't go up, Vortex would have had 2 relics, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So a little bit of a misplay by, a little misplay by Vortex. B played that very well. But yeah, as we just saw, those men-at-arms tanked a lot of damage. The warrior monks helped a lot too, buffing the damage and armor. And then it just allowed those spearmen and land snakes, they just don't do the damage they do against men-at-arms.
Yeah, that is actually a fair point as well, right? Warrior monks, you had 3 of them in the fight. It's... You don't think about it much, but yeah. No, they really do help.
They do a lot. It's something I've realized recently. So this is why I personally have started adding it, and I found much more success. So we're going to go into game number 2, which is going to be on Rocky Canyon, Mongols versus Delhi.
Interesting.
Oh, and we'll go right into it here. Yeah, nice thing is, guys, we're gonna be going straight into the games. I'm gonna pause here for just a moment.
You don't need to pause when you're in a replay.
I know, but I like to pause for just a second. Just make sure I have everything situated. Okay, let's go. And yeah, so we have Vortix, Delhi at the top. What?
Do you have everything situated because you didn't update the score?
This is very... I always forget score. Chat loves to remind me. Okay, so we're on game 2. At the top left, we have Vortix as the Delhi, and we have at the bottom right, B as the Mongol player on Rocky Canyon, which is I actually really like this map. It's very wide open. You're going to notice a lot of the food sources are not in safe locations. You know, they're front. Berries are out. Like the only safe food is the sheep you gather and the close berries. Usually.
Pretty much. I mean, you are the Mongols, right? So you are able to move out, and Delhi, or sorry, Malians has been played a little bit. I've tried it a little bit, right? And Mali on this map kind of is quite fine if you go professional scouts, because you are able to, you know, make a lot of the unsafe food quite safe.
I mean, if we go, Malians is good on every map except for maybe Baltic.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, there's no map, no land map in the game right now that, I
Okay.
mean, that Malians really suck at.
I mean, they suck when I play them because I'm bad. But hey, so the Mongols, of course, I was about to say silver tree, but hey, this is I don't think this map even has trade posts in normal version.
It does. It's Dry River that
Okay.
doesn't have it.
It's that. Oh right, yes, I always mix these two up.
I did too until I played against Louis on this map, and then I remembered. But yeah, so this is in my eyes, this is a very difficult map for Mongols. The nice thing about this map, though, is Mongols, I think, has a chance of potentially doing something here. If they can deny these external food sources like the deer, the external berries, if they can somehow deny that, I think this matchup could be very difficult for Delhi in this particular game. But in general, I would definitely favor Delhi because of their mass unit production. And depending on how many sheep he gets, which so far he's only found 4, so, you know, he doesn't have a ton of sheep. We'll see how it goes.
That's the thing as well, right? Because Delhi really doesn't want to do a farm transition. They're okay with doing it, but they kind of don't. So, but yeah, as with that point, right? Mongols, they kind of just farm sheep every day, so they in the late game they kind of don't need to worry about, or mid game I should be saying, don't really need to worry about. We do have the spears running across the map. No villager, as far as I can see, running across.
Yeah, kind of interesting. So we see 6 spears coming in from B, but he's not taking a single villager. So he is not going for a tower rush. He's just playing very standard. Man, by the way, all his villagers are hidden right under that town center. But he is gathering 10 on food at the moment, and he's just going to go feudal age on off top of that without a single tower.
Yeah, it does hurt Delhi. I mean, most of the time you don't really care about gold, but the issue right now is you see on the gold collected right now for Vortix, he doesn't have enough gold because he goes the Tower of Victory. He doesn't have enough gold to actually make a second scholar, which really will hurt him in the long run. Because
oh, he has enough now.
Okay, now it okay, close.
Gathered just enough.
Just enough, and not having a second scholar as the Delhi, you really feel it. You really do.
Yeah, and the nice thing, so yeah, with the Tower of Victory, for those who don't know, gives a plus 20% attack for any infantry, I believe it is. I believe it's just infantry. So I'm still surprised that no spearmen, but we do see the deer stones coming up for Mongols. I'll be curious if he's going to go fast castle off of this, or if he's going to try to do some feudal aggression to prevent, the sacred sites here. I think that's what this game's going to come down to, really, is if Delhi can secure those sacred sites. And without a tower, I mean, there's no real threat. Like, for me, if I was Delhi right now and I didn't have to worry about a tower rush, I'd be very happy about it. These spears, yeah, they're annoying, but they're really not doing that much.
Yeah, it is all actually worth noting though with the Tower of Victory. It's a small thing, but you need to actually have it up so it doesn't basically go back in time and be like, oh yeah, you have spears, I'll boost them up. Because if you click on the mosque, actually, you will see the range that has, and a building actually needs to be in range of the Tower of Victory to actually provide that attack speed bonus. So a proxy base for Delhi won't work.
Yeah, and I think specifically it has to be, I don't know if it's a military building, but houses don't extend it from what I know. Oh, yeah, that's quite a bit of sheep. 9 more sheep added, so looks like he did find quite a few sheep, so that's very nice for Vortix. So in Vortix's spot, I favor his position right now. I think he's in a very good position. He's got plenty of sheep. He's still got his berries. He's got archers incoming, blacksmith, and what do we have for B? We have a stable coming out. 8 villagers on gold.
Is it the pop? Because he's trying to make so much gold, but no. But as you're saying, Vortex definitely in a really fine position here. Hasn't taken a lot of damage really. Oh no, he lost the mining camp. Yeah, don't really care. So he's really safe, just happily just chilling right now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what... Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. I was like, I
Okay.
don't like how B's gathering from the berries, but I didn't see the boar there, so this makes a lot more sense. I do like gathering from the boar. I mean, while we see a stable, no units are coming down, so I'm pretty confident at this point... Oh, no, there's two horsemen. So I'm still not sure if this is going to be a fast castle or not from B. Then we see the standard deli items. A barracks, a stable, the trifecta.
Good old trifecta. It's something I've actually started moving more and more into. I quite actually like going 1-1-1 comp or trifecta or whatever you actually want to call it. It's quite nice.
Oh, as deli, you always want to do it. Depends on the
Oh,
matchup and
yeah,
what
but
your
like
opponent's going.
a lot of civs, honestly. I'm weird though. Don't listen to me.
It just depends on the matchup. Generally, do that a lot, like with Ottomans, deli. Like English, you don't typically, but sometimes you do. Some players do anyway.
But of course, not going as a consequence of not going Dome of Faith, right? We only have, I believe, we only have 2 scholars. Yeah, we only have 2 scholars for Vortix. So getting those blacksmith upgrades takes quite a time. It will still get online soon enough, but it still takes a long time.
Yeah, and we do see that B is not going for... So he's not going for the fast castle. If there's any other doubts, right now it just looks like he is making some units. He's going to try to contest this sacred site, which he will be able to for now. He does have enough spearmen and horsemen to push down, you know, the 1 spear and 5 archers. But
Yeah.
looks like Vortix may push anyway.
About to say, if B takes this fight, he wins this quite easily, actually.
I think so too. I think it's a very easy win for B, but B looks like to be playing it a little safe. Almost looks like he might be looking to go try raiding. So this sacred site is going to come down. We do see a bunch of extra reinforcements coming out. So I do think at this point, this fight is now in Vortix's favor. But there was a slight window where I think B could have taken that fight.
It definitely was, right? And by okay, yeah, there's the walls. But by denying that sacred site, right, you force the Delhi to do something they don't really want to, and that is mining gold. Which is why losing which is basically just giving up the mining camp on the gold doesn't really matter because they're fine with it. But allowing them to actually get the passive gold income, which they really want to do, because remember the Delhi gets double gold income from sacred sites as well.
Not double. It's 150.
On 150. So wait, it's 50% extra. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know it's a lot of passive income and building the gate before the wall. Interesting.
Yeah, that is definitely a little interesting, but I don't think there's much that B can do to deny this. I mean, the military is heavily in Vortix's favor, and B has half his army across the map.
I was about to say Vortix right now. He's really looking solid right now. We do have a decent archer mass as well, so can't really contest anything here. The tower will definitely be helping out a little bit, but honestly, Vortex, he will be denying a lot of food here, right? He's gonna deny an entire boar, an entire berry patch. Town center will be doing some effect there, but Vortex right now taking a real good fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is the consequence. Half of B's army was on the other side of the map, and it's scrambling to come home. But by the time he got there, B lost every unit on his side of the map. So, and he's gonna lose this tower. It looks like as well. Or
yeah, I don't think it has arrow slits even, right? So it's not even helping that much. So he's gonna lose a lot of military are actually trying to defend, and will take a lot of damage. Well, only 2 villagers lost though, so pretty good still.
Yeah, 2 villagers, the tower. I'm actually surprised B didn't try repairing that tower at all. You know, it probably would have been enough to keep the tower up and maybe force the archers back. But now, that military count, it is, double in favor of Vortex. The reinforcements denial has now been denied, and Vortex is down to 1 low horseman, 1 archer, and I don't know where any other units are, but oh, I see them down here. A con and over here. Not a very strong army.
Yeah, so despite even, like, I don't remember exactly what, right, but if B and Vortex does have equal archer numbers, you gotta remember that Vortex's archers actually attack 20% faster, right? So they're actually pretty decent in just trading equally. And well, the Spears as well, but they didn't do too much that fight. And now B is in a really rough position, has to evacuate away from his Uvu. Luckily, his food income right now is completely safe for the time being. We'll have one building block though, so we'll be losing that one, which kind of
Yeah,
sucks.
well, he might be able to save that building. It is archers only firing at it, so... And here we go, losing some archers. Now, the thing is here for Vortix is if he denies his deer patch over on the left, I think it's just GG for B. He doesn't have any pastures, no way to get food. So this is his lifeline. He loses this control of the map, these deer. He has no food income, and he'll be forced to tap out.
Yeah. B though, he is going to try to go castle behind this. We'll see if potentially some knights, some man at arms can help him out here. But we do have Vortex doing a real good job now, having all 3 sacred sets very soon under his control. So literally having a timer on B's back.
Yeah, and he's about to be going Castle Age himself. He just needs another probably... Now, that's actually all he needed was
Yeah,
5
there
more
we go.
seconds. And, well, I guess he needs another 100 food, but he'll be going Castle Age here in just a moment. And
Yeah, so
there we go.
Yeah, now Vortex, he is quite happy, all 3 sacred sets, and a huge military advantage. There we go, compound the defender as well.
You know, I will say I am a little surprised not to see a ram push by Vortex. In my experience from watching him play Delhi, he loves to do ram timings, and he knows he has a huge military advantage, so I was really kind of expecting just him to just ram and end the game, but I do prefer the Castle Age transition. He's adding more stables, so he's going to be adding in those Lancers, or is it Knights or Lancers? Yeah, Lancers for Delhi. And, yeah, so like B hits Castle Age, that's nice, but... You know, the men-at-arms he's making out of this barracks, yeah, not really going to benefit very much, especially when B's not that far, or sorry, when Vortex is not that far behind.
Yeah, he will be going up, and he will be happy just matching whatever he throws at him. We do have the compound defender, right? So, been slightly nerfed, so we need 40 more stone to actually drop a keep. Oh no. But with having 3 sacred sites right now, it's a lot of passive gold income, which does allow Vortex to focus more on gathering food and allowing that knight spam to really get going.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that army on the left-hand side here, these 8 horsemen beat all of it. So B's forced to retreat. Although surprisingly, Vortex retreats. I'm not sure why. He had that fight pretty easily. But he's got Lancers on the way. He's got upgrading for his spear, upgrades for his archers, so he'll just be massing that here. Is he on stone yet? Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, why would you drop keeps when you can just make army and just win, right? Army is more movable than a keep.
Yeah, but for Delhi, at this stage in the game, usually you don't need that many villagers on wood. You don't need 17. You can pull 8 off wood, put them on stone. Doesn't affect your unit production at all, because you generally are using food and gold at this point in the game. Because we just see a bunch of Lancers. You know, obviously we see these upgrades, but nothing too much. We do see the army being cleaned up by B. I mean, look at that. Vortex has a 30 more, not 30, 20 more military. He's going to save that Scholar, clean up this army. And I just don't see what B can do in this situation.
I mean, he's hanging on, though. He'll definitely see something we don't. I feel like he has... I mean, we are in the best of 5 after all, but never mind. He's just going to tap out, and it's going to be a 1-1 in this series.
Yeah, he knew he was dead. It's one of those situations where you're super far behind. You don't have a good military income. You're behind in just every way. Delhi economy is pretty crazy, especially at this stage.
I mean, let me have my copium, man. But yeah, so tying up the series 1-1. It's doing solid so far. Some really good games.
Yeah, they've been actually fairly quick games, which I like I said it before. This is what I expect. These are both very aggressive players. B, from my experience, very aggressive. Vortex, very aggressive. They just love their feudal play. They love kind of doing castle aggressive timings. They aren't usually the players that will sit back and try to go for a long 40-minute mass wall, mass keep spam. mass siege kind of play.
Yeah, honestly, I
Generally.
kind of want to say that even if we played on standard maps and not the Conquerors Cup maps, which doesn't have neutral trading posts, I don't think we would be seeing trade from either of them.
No, I don't think so either. I think in the past, actually, I think we have seen when Mongol Silver Tree was the way to go, which it still is. Even on Basin, both Vortix and Lucifron went Deerstones when they played that map as Mongols. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But
I
here
mean,
we
it's
go. Game number
game.
3 on, I believe this is Dry Arabia. Let me make sure. Yep, Dry Arabia. Ottoman Empire is for Vortix. English for B. This is a matchup that I know that a lot of players may disagree, but I think this is a very good matchup for Ottomans. At least I slightly favor Ottomans in this matchup. But I have seen Vortex play Ottomans before, and I don't know. It didn't feel like he had a solid grasp of the Civ last time I saw it, but that was a long time ago. So I'm not sure if he has a more consistent plan, because I don't think I ever see him play Ottomans on stream either. So I'm not sure how much practice he actually has with Ottomans.
Yeah, and ooh, okay, B actually still. I mean, I was about to say, right? But B actually doing the effectively like a French opening-ish with the English here. Would not be surprised with how he's allocated villagers right now if he goes survival techniques as well.
Oh, he is for
But yeah,
sure. This is a very
yeah,
this is almost like a new standard opening I've been seeing a lot in this tournament from English and French. They almost always go straight for the deer. They get survival techniques, and then they go from there. And I think it's fine, right? You're not going to spearman rush English because
no,
5 English villagers is more than enough to kill the longbow.
yeah. So, I mean, I wanted to comment that, right? It's as the Ottomans, you pretty much every single matchup except the English, you actually go with a military school opening, and the reason for that, right, is the English longbows or short bows rather that they do have, and they can really effectively take out those spearmen. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to actually push them.
Yeah, I've tried it before out of for
It,
fun, and
it didn't
yeah,
work.
it was like I don't even think it was 5 villagers. I think it was 3 or 4, and that spearman died so fast. I was like, oh wow, this was definitely a waste of resources here.
Yeah, and that's the thing with going for like for the military school with the opening, right? It's like you don't necessarily kill a villager, but it's the point of just stealing away APM, getting some idle time, just that small increments, getting that one going.
Yeah, we see standard age up for Ottomans going the Twin Minaret Madrasa, which is just the berry landmark. Very, very standard. Very useful against English, especially in this spot, because if there is a longbow rush, you have your sheep, and you'll generally be able to gather from these berries untouched.
Yeah, I think on the outer ones you will be a little bit in trouble, but you should still be fine.
Yeah, and we
And
see, we see the standard council hall from B here. Very close, really kissing that TC there, though. Definitely not, not forward at all. Just put it as close to his TC as possible. Still keeping 3 on gold, and doesn't actually have that many villagers on wood, so I don't think we're going to see a very quick rush from B here.
no, and that's also another thing or a fact I should be actually saying with the dare opening that's existing now, right? It's on the French, on the English. It's like, oh yeah, you lose some idle time walking out, and you also spend a lot of resources on survival techniques. But with survival techniques and dare, it doesn't actually affect your timings that much because it actually gathers so quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering if we're going to see I mean, I'm going to guess we're not seeing a second TC from B, but hard to say this early. But we still have, 5 on food, 4 on wood, but no movement to stone yet. Guess he doesn't have the wood for it, but well, I guess we'll see what he does.
Okay, so it's gonna open up with the stable, and that's the thing, right? With the Ottomans, it takes a while with the military schools and dropping all those military production buildings to actually build up a proper mass. Well, the English, they can happily just immediately on age up just start spamming longbows.
Yeah, we're not seeing any unit production at all. Oh, nope, there we go. The first
No.
longbow. Just took a while.
Yeah, probably just to defend himself a little bit. a little bit unsure what B plan here is. So it seems like he does want to build a little bit of a longbow mass, possibly to just protect his deer gathering here.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to say what B's plan is. It's clearly not a second TC, but I also wouldn't say fast castle because we have 12 villagers on wood. So I suppose we'll keep an eye. We do see wheelbarrow coming out, more longbows. First spa he has come out for Vortix, so he's going to do some raiding there because he is aware of these villagers on this mill, and there's no barracks, so we're not going to see spearmen come out just yet for B.
Don't need a barracks if you got palings. Oh, that's
There
a
we
very
go.
far for. There's a.
I think that's
very far out.
it's okay in this situation. It's Ottomans. You're not really expecting heavy pressure at this point, and English can easily deal with it with the longbows, so it's fine. This spearman will get out really quickly. Actually, by the time the spa he'll get here, this spearman should already be out, so there shouldn't be too much. There should be no damage to the deer. And we do see palings come out for the longbowmen as well.
Yeah. So B right now, I mean, he's kind of just chilling, just doing English things, just macroing and putting up those farms. We do have 9 villagers right now on stone, so that is not military schools. That might be TC.
Yeah, it looks like a second
possibly both.
TC. I'm not a fan of this, but I know I would have preferred a fast castle approach. And with how defensive B's going, I feel like a fast castle approach would be better. But we do see some, another Spahi raid on the gold. He'll be able to tickle them a little bit, but these should get away without any losses here.
Yeah, has the wheelbarrow, so moves a lot quicker. But as you were saying, right, it's like I'm not a huge fan either of 2 town centers right now, mostly because, you have a lot of room right now to punish the English, and most of the time I do go 2 town centers as the Ottomans is when I forget that I have villagers on stone.
Yeah, and we do see. I do think we are going to see some aggression here from B. We're seeing more spearmen come out, more longbows, and we're seeing the blacksmith. And again, there's only 2 villagers on gold now, so definitely going to be seeing some aggression soon, I imagine. And Vortix did place out a military school. Okay, I was like, where'd that stone go?
Yeah, so he just wants to get out those military schools, just get them going. He did go for the vizier point that gives him the meter, which does give him movement speed information as well, so really able to move those Sipai around quickly.
Yeah, and that's very common. I've noticed a lot of the pro players like to go for that one first. Again, that extra speed boost is nice. I mean, when you have the, the meter, whatever, the support unit, hockeyed with your horsemen, or Spahi in this case, they do go really fast. So it is definitely noticeable.
It's also in the addition, right? It's, when you think about it, right, it's either you get sheep, which you have berries, so you don't really care about, or you go the monks, or the scholars, priests, or whatever they're called. But you're playing against English, which really, really easily can be sniped out.
Yeah, and here we're seeing him move across. Vortix does have enough for a second TC, but he doesn't have a lot of units. He doesn't know this is coming. He hasn't scouted it. His scout's all the way over here, so this might be the first. So he's still not aware of these units over here. He's not really making units. He's starting to make 1 archer. He has his military school set to Spahi, and he's going to drop down his second TC, which should get down safely because the units are on the other side. But now he should be now he should know about this threat.
Yeah.
And that gold, he should be pulling back here. Yep, there we go.
So it's a little bit rough right now, right, because of the Ottomans and how you do your military production buildings and how you expand out and are forced to build them, right? It's a little bit rough playing against the English because they can camp your production if they do have a big enough longbow mass, which they luckily in this case don't. But as you said, right, with B walking around there, he will be getting up the second town center quite safely.
Oh yeah, and if you look at the military, it's 20 in favor of B right now. There's just not a lot, so this army can really deny that wood for pretty much ever if he chooses to. Just has to be a little careful, but it will be a little hard though. If he actually goes through, he can't really go through the center here without taking fire from one of these town centers. So that is something to notice.
Yeah, it's an invisible wall, but I don't think B really cares about it because he does have like an army split right now, and It's like, as you're saying, right, with the military numbers on the top. Yes, but at the same time, B does have two different armies right now that is completely separated from each other. And even that fact, I don't think Vortix can take any fight.
Yeah, we can see right here, right? There's just not enough from Vortix here. He's not going to be able to hold off this aggression. He's going to be forced off this wood line. He has no more straggler trees. There's an army over here that B is now consolidating his army, so making his army even scarier. The bright side of this move by B for Vortix is now he can go back to his wood line down here.
Yeah.
Oh, we could be seeing rams here soon. I think we're going to be seeing rams here any moment now. B does have. There we go. And right now, Vortix is trying to build up his army. He's still at 15 to the 35. He still has, he has 4 sheep under his town center, the berries, and he does have that deer secure for now. I don't like this from B. I don't like the one ram.
I mean, okay, yeah, the one ram. I was about to say you don't like him going for the second town center. It's completely alone, right? So it's the natural thing to just do. It's just here for no reason. Or without any protection, I should be saying. And that ram is just gonna go ham. We'll try to take the fight though, Vortix is, but honestly, the longbow mass for B right now is just so insane.
Yeah, he does have, 14. I'm surprised he's not like poking out at all to burn down this ram, but I guess he just wants that town center fire. So this may end up working okay for him here. I mean, B still has 14 more military. And
I have to say though, the micro from B right now in this ram is absolutely crazy. Just jumping in and out, and just not allowing the town center to fire at all on those spearmen. We'll be backing up for the time being as the second ram is being built up though, but the Sipahi numbers and army numbers in general for Vortix actually slowly is building. But is it enough? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's not enough yet, but with that town center fire plus, the villagers to repair, it should be enough to thwart this for now. But with 3 rams, this is when this becomes scary, because this town center will go down really fast. And Vortix's army, I mean, it's starting to get up there. But I don't know if he can hold this right now.
Yeah, and as we were talking about, right, Ottomans takes a little bit of time to actually build up the army numbers. And that time is even longer when you go 2 town centers, because you spend so much resources building a town center instead of building production buildings.
Yeah, and we're seeing... I do like what B's doing. I love the going in and out of the rams. It's very quick to... For those who don't know how he's doing it, he's probably hotkeying his group and just putting it in there, or he's selecting the ram and tabbing out. One of the two. But very nice micro from both.
Ooh, insufficient wood right now. That's gonna hurt for Vortix. Luckily for him, though, the deer patch almost is eaten up. We do have a change of tactics for B. We'll be going for the production buildings, it looks like, instead of the town center.
And here comes the tough part for Vortix. This is the part this is why I don't like feudal wars against English long term. B's food income and stuff is getting to the point where he can start mixing in those men-at-arms. And those men-at-arms, there's not a unit that Ottomans have that can deal with them in mass in a very efficient manner. And
okay,
so...
Here's my copium. Here's my copium. Janissary Vizier point.
Yeah, no, that's not going to make a difference. That will not make a difference.
But yeah, as we were saying, right, with those long feudal fights, right, and generally long fights with English, they do now have the economy behind it. They can take the risk and have some villagers moving forward, building that tower, and allowing him to get the attack speed bonus on the front line.
Does that affect rams?
I don't hope. I hope not. Yeah, look at B. Like, oh, I'm gonna take my archers to try to get some of your spares. No, you're not. I mean, B right now is just doing such a good job. 3 rams easily gonna take care of that town center. And it's gonna be even easier when you can't even target the units that inside and trying to defend them. Right now, B takes the fight. Second town center has been taken down, as we were talking about. Yeah, the mass for Vortix, it's just not able to get up there.
Well, no, and you're
those
just,
men-
and yeah, those men-at-arms, just look how much they tank. That's 20 archers, and that didn't even take half the health away.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be downhill from for Vortix here. Yeah, he's got a 4-villager lead. He's down from military. These rams are just going to start taking out these houses. He's going to deny this wood line. He's already got forward archery range, forward tower up here. There's going to be no way he's going to gather wood unless he sneaks out over here.
Yeah, I was about to say, right, it's 0 wood on the right side of his base, so there's not even there's nothing there to actually get. And right now he just needs to get that wood, try to get an archer number, try to get some archer mass going to actually be able to deal with those man-at-arms, because man-at-arms right now is a thorn in Vortix's side, and he's just going to keep on making more and more, and it's not even going to bother thinking about Cosby because he doesn't need to.
Consider that micro is done with stupid RAM on garrison design. There's easy ways to get around that, Kino Blues. If you didn't know, if you hotkey your units inside of a RAM, you can just right-click them out, and if you select the RAM and then select the units in there, you can get them out without that silly ungarrisoned button that you're thinking of, which is what B was doing there. One of those two methods.
It takes a little bit of practice, right? It's two things in the game that takes just a little bit of practice, but really elevates your play. It is town center hopping and ram hopping. It looks super cool, and actually is pretty cool as well. But villagers now getting their shivs out, 3 longbows. Gonna be how many villagers is just running around doing nothing right there?
I mean, right now his whole economy is pretty much idle. He's got 16 here, he's got 16 up here, so 32 villagers that aren't getting any resources.
Yeah, and it really hurts, especially in this position. He is fighting back, though, is able to take down B's army on the front side, but somewhere on the map there's a huge army as well. It's just trickling across, and
I mean, you say he took it down, but he didn't really take it down. He just whittled the longbow numbers down, but men-at-arms are doing their damage. Those archer numbers are falling, and I mean the longbow numbers are falling a bit, but you just see an endless stream of orange coming across the map. We see, 1,200 food per minute coming in for B, 250 for Vortix right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're at the point where like B has more wood income than Vortix has income in general. And that really sucks, especially when you think about the fact that Vortix was 2 town centers for a bit. It's just the English economy, right? He has okay, not the mining upgrade, but he has the economy upgrades. He's moved down to the boar, he's moved out to the deer, he's already chewed through, right? And survival techniques, definitely getting its value this game. Now, more villagers looking to move around, get more towers, just deny this wood line, so there's no chance for Vortix. He's just starving him out at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Vortix knows the game's over, too, is the funny thing. Like, he knows he's dead. There's just too many men-at-arms. I mean, you see 9 men-at-arms here, and how many archers does he have? He's got 21 archers, but then there's 20 longbows. So 20 longbows, 16 men-at-arms on the field for B, and there's just no way Vortix is ever going to be able to take this in a straight-up fight. His best chance would be if B grabbed his army and attacked under their full town center.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But you almost don't have enough villagers to fill it up at this point anymore. So, but yeah, right. We're in a best of 5, and it's just gonna take a little bit of time. Vortix just playing the long game, just chilling right now, trying to tire out B as much as possible, and see if we can get a comeback of some sort. See if we can find one single opportunity. And remember, we are the Ottomans, right? So it does have those military schools passively producing, which it's the only thing that's realistically keeping Vortix in this game, but B's just happy right now. He's just chilling, moving around his army. And
it's one of those things that the only reason that Vortix is not GGing is because it's a tournament game. In general, you never know. Your opponent could make that one mistake that could end up costing them. We do see a dive under the TC. Like I said, this is the best chance Vortix has of coming back is if this worked out. Even then, I don't think this is enough because...
Yeah, I mean, the man-at-arms don't care. They actually just don't care. They're just going to tank up that
44 idle villagers right now.
Yeah. Yeah, every single villager there was idle. Some of them running, some of them in the town center, and, well... Yeah, B pretty much got this in the bag though, but Vortix doing a really good job fighting back here. Has the emitter. It's not going to be ranged armor, but Yeah, I don't
I
think that
don't.
would
Wait,
matter.
what matter? I only see archers,
Yeah.
and I
So
see 12 men at arms, and I
yeah,
see these villagers about to die to longbows.
uh,
Yeah, Vortix is really fighting this one out. He's trying anything he can, but he knows that. Like every player knows the situation
yeah.
here, and that is GG. Vortix is GG. GG's right there, and we go. We are going to be going to a game number 4. B leading 2-1.
Yeah, so I don't know. It kind of comes down to honestly a lot of the early decisions, right? Going that 2 town center, taking some time to actually get that army online, not being able to punish the window you had, because B at the start of the game actually was quite passive, right? Just kind of just chilling for a long time, not doing a whole lot. But Vortic has never punished it.
Yeah, and we're going into game number 4, which is going to be Malians versus China
Come on,
on
China.
Basin. We'll start in just a second here. So this is a very interesting matchup in the fact that, this is one of the few matchups that a lot of the pro players say China actually has a chance of winning this game.
Oh,
Now, when I say a chance, I'm not saying China's even with Malians. I'm not saying China is favored versus Malians. I'm saying out of the few civs in the game, China is one of the civs that has a chance of beating Malians at the pro level at the moment. The other civ would be the Ottomans. Those are the 2 civs
yeah.
that are considered the best chances of beating Malians at the pro level at the moment. And so, not surprised we're finally seeing the Malians come out. Again, in all these maps, Malians are going to be favored against every single civ. So, no surprise to see what's happening here. And I'll be curious how B does it. So I've seen BC play this matchup, for example, as China. And what he did is he went fast castle. And actually, this was against Vortix. He went fast castle, got nest of bees, and was able to kind of hold and then kill, and then Vortix GG'd. So I'm very curious if B is going to have that same kind of approach, or if he's going to do the more typical 2 town center Song Dynasty.
Depends, right? It's a little bit uncertain, right? And it's it's embarrassing to say, but it took a game, or I should actually be saying 2 games, before I actually realized that javelin throwers still counters Shugnus.
Oh
And
yeah,
they
it's
do
not even
outrange them
close.
quite a bit. It's not even close. So you do have to see though if it is a javelin spam or if it's a warrior scout spam. It's still quite easy for the Chinese to deal with the warrior scouts.
It's
So
I mean, you say it's easy to deal with, but it's still really not, even for China. Like, the longer the game goes, it becomes easier. But what Vortex is definitely gonna do here, he's gonna start out Warrior Scouts. That's just, if he doesn't do that, that is really not taking advantage of Malians. You want to start with those Warrior Scouts. Do some harassment. It takes 4 spears to one-shot them. So as long as you don't take don't get one shot by spears, you just pull it back, it heals in 15 seconds, and then bam, it's back on the action.
yeah,
And so that's what I expect from Vortex. I'm definitely gonna not be surprised at all to see Warrior Scouts into, I'm assuming, a fast castle. That's kind of the way that the Civ is played right now. Is you go fast castle because by the time you can push against the Warrior Scouts, well, Malians and Castle Age, and they're starting to spam their Castle Age units from the Farimba.
yeah, and it's something that Salami tried to go against a lot. Actually, we was trying to play more in the feudal age with 2 town centers. It's still quite good, but of course we had the fast castle meta. Farimba was nerfed. We moved into feudal meta, but now we've slowly started moving back into Farimba meta.
Well, yeah, once
And
people realized how strong those warrior scouts are, that's why that opened up the Farimba meta
yeah,
again. Because now you go the Mansa Quarry as your feudal age landmark. You do not go. I forget what the other one is called. The Sahan Trade Network. You don't do that anymore because you don't need it. The
yeah.
the warrior scouts are more than enough.
I mean, and that was the reason, right? You didn't go the Monster Quarry. Some people still mixed it in for the passive gold income, but the main reason was that people didn't realize that the Warrior Scouts was good. You needed a way to protect your gold while you were going up and pumping the Farimba, still having that. And really needed to protect it, but don't need it anymore.
Yeah, so I'll be very curious. So, I mean, B's going to go for the, he's going to go for the typical Song Dynasty first. Very standard play. So far, we're going to see what Vortix is going to do, but I'm expecting him to slap down a stable the moment that finishes. And there it is. No hesitation at all. And I'm more curious what B's going to do. What's his game plan? Looks like he's already moving towards... Okay, so he's going to put his Barbican over here to protect these deer, or to secure these deer. I like that decision. I would have done the same thing. But Warrior Scouts will be finished in 15 seconds, and there is a Warrior Scout over here that should scout this out.
I mean, he has a lot of villagers out here, though. Okay. No, it's really good Barbican spot, right? It's quite forward, and it's at a certain choke point, right? It can easily be walled off and force that Warrior Scout. Was that not in range?
I don't think he saw it. I think that scout was just out of range to see that Barbican going up.
Sneaky.
So kind of lucky. I mean, this is going to go up. There is 8 villagers on it, but he could have maybe gotten a vill kill out of it.
Yeah, just delaying, right? And making sure you can see that, right? Because, I mean, yeah, probably would have gotten a vill. So...
All right, so we have wheelbarrow coming out. We have cows coming out. Not really seeing any more units at the moment. We see we see what, 3 warrior scouts. And how many villagers do we have on food and gold? 8 on food, 10 on wood, 11 on wood. So we have a lot on wood still. I was looking at China. 8 on wood. So we're gonna kind of see what happens here. I'm not sure what Vortix is planning. B is not going for a second TC, and I do like that choice. I think going second TC is a trap versus Malians.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? It's your village is completely unprotected right now, so it will be burnt down in 5 minutes or something like that. But we do have a barracks just coming out here for B, just being.
Yeah, we were wondering when this barracks was going to come out. There's the spearmen. I mean, you need it. If you don't, these are going to burn down this village, and it's very annoying. That's, what is that? Is it 25 pop? I can't remember how much a village gives, but it's quite a bit. 40 population, sorry. So that's 40 population, so it's very nice.
Yeah, it's really good, right? And it does, if it does get burned down, it's really expensive to try to get back up. So.
And yeah, look at this micro. So this is what I was talking about with these warrior scouts, right? That spear has almost lost half its health, and look at the warrior scout's health. It's already back to 86, almost fully healed. So it can take. So these two spearmen are not enough. So he's got to wait to get another one, preferably one more, and then he can start one-shotting these. And we do see a little poke. It's forced back a little bit. And, we have the second stage of the pit mines. And it's looking like a fast castle from Vortix here. It's just waiting.
Look at the micro, right? It's just doing such... Oh my god. That scout is... Like, 2 of those scouts should be dead, but it's the fact that they still heal in combat, which I think is just completely ridiculous. Like, the entire game got healing in combat nerf, except warrior scouts.
Yep, and look at that. It's already back to 36 health, so it's definitely,
It's just zooming. And the issue as well, right, is B really needs to invest so much resources into fending off these annoying warrior scouts. And as you were talking about, right, Vortix, 5 warrior scouts just gonna annoy your opponent, and I'm just gonna go up to castle.
Yeah, and if we look at this, we see a couple archery ranges coming out from B, interestingly enough. So B is not going for Castle Age. He's gonna commit to the feudal, it looks like. Whereas we see Vortix here just needs another 100 food, and he's going to be up in that Castle Age and spamming those Furimba units. So I am not liking B's position at all this game. I don't see any advantage that he has at the moment. And there we go, Furimba Garrison on the way. 11 villagers assigned to that big boy, and he's assigning them to gold right after.
Yeah. So I think a little bit of B's thought process is that my Shugenus will still be doing fine into anything that Vortix does make. Because, well, you don't get any new Castle Age units, you just get stronger units as Emolians. So, of course, Shugenus does fine against everything if they're in a big enough mass. And I don't think with the Farimba Vortex will be moving into sofas anyways.
He will eventually. It's the standard composition for Malians is you're going to start out with only Farimba units, but the later the game, there will be a time period where there'll be sofas incoming as well. Poison Archer arrows and sofas is the go-to for Malians in Castle Age. And here's the first couple batch of archers. We do see the veteran archers in the normal archery range here. So he's about to have 10 archers. And, I mean, we don't have that many Zoogs. We only have 5 Zoogs. He's about to have 5 more archers in another, 13 seconds.
And he doesn't have the economy right now, despite, being the Chinese. He doesn't have the economy to actually, like, really spam out those true news. He is constantly producing them, which is that's a forward Imperial official question mark. No, even further forward.
Oh yeah, it looks like he accidentally selected one and it's on the way across.
I mean, you gotta text your opponent too, right?
Yeah, I guess so. You take those taxes.
It probably was supervising one of the archer ranges, and he just box selected the entire thing.
That's probably exactly what it was. But
loses his Zoog here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting poison arrows for a little bit. We do see a couple Zoogs up here denying, well, the pit mine got down, but denying the houses. We see relics being taken by Vortix, and we do see a few units kind of going down over here. Another Zoogu goes down. That's another one. And the military-wise, they're even in military for now, but we're seeing more and more units. It's really starting to get up there for Vortix already.
Yeah, and I actually wonder how many archer ranges you actually would need to actually be outproducing with Shugenus, the Malians right now. It seems like you would actually need quite a lot.
Well, let's see. You get 5 every 22 seconds, and a Zoogu takes 15 seconds. So
yeah,
you need about 5.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or it might be 4. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but something like that. Oh, I do think Vortix might be over-pushing just a little bit, but...
I was about to say, he's moving out quite far here, though. He's going to be facing up against a lot of spears, though, but still, it's going to be throwing away a lot of those units, and something that he probably doesn't want to. Probably felt a little bit too overconfident there. We'll be doing an okay trade still. So, but yeah.
Yeah, the nice thing is, though, it is Malians, so they do get that military count. Yeah, I've seen games where Malians get their armies smashed a couple times, yet that military just keeps on rising. And as we can see, he's now 10 ahead. He's now 15 ahead of B. B's trying to add in horsemen, but I don't think that's going to do too much once these, these blacksmith techs start coming in.
Yeah, it's... that's the issue, right? I feel like if those horsemen were mixed in a little bit earlier, when the Malians' archer mass wasn't that big, they would actually be able to do something. But right now, they're just gonna run in and just die. Like, yeah, 2 volleys, they're just gone. You still will be taking a pretty decent fight here, though.
Yeah, he should. I think he actually might be able to win this fight because no blacksmith techs are in for Vortix yet. So these are archers. They are veteran, but they don't have any blacksmith techs. So everything's doing full damage. There's no extra armor here. And
yeah, Shugenu's just tearing through this right now, right? Doesn't actually have the... There we go, that's the +1 damage, or +3 damage for Shugenu's. We'll be getting that +1 armor as well, so at least B will be fighting back, but as you were talking about, right? Yeah, that was a losing fight for Vortix, but look at the military number.
Yeah, he's still ahead. He's still massing them out, and we do see the stable transition coming out here. So sofas are going to be incoming here very shortly, probably. And once those sofas come out, look, if we look at B's position, he's not even close to Castle Age. He still needs to gather 1,100 more food, and that's just not a good spot to be in because sofas have a lot of armor, and yeah, these Zoogs will tickle them.
Yeah. I would honestly go as far as to say they're almost... Sofas are even worse than knights when it comes to Shugenus. It's just awful. Yeah, like, as we were talking about, right? B needs a lot of food right now. He needs to be moving out. Luckily, I mean, he's already chewed through one deer patch, has another one rather safe, I would say, but he has a lot of wood right now, and he really doesn't want to do a farm transition either.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not really sure because the food is there's a warrior scout over here to check for that food count. There is still one more deer pack, so he's not out of deer. He does have that boar as well, so he's got a deer and boar left. So that's the nice part. That's about it when it comes to B's position at the moment. He's still only gathering 374 food a minute compared to Malian's, who's at 690. And the sofas are incoming, and that extra armor is going to be done in 15 seconds, and more stables are being thrown down as well.
yeah, and that's oh, that's the thing as well, right? Like, Malians, you can really just like, oh yeah, I'll just make gold or get gold, and that's about it, right? But luckily, we have moved into actually making more and different units. This is a pretty interesting fight, though. Shugenus, right? They're just tickling those sofas. They don't even care about them. The only thing that's realistically doing damage to them right now is the hand cannons loose from a town center. Shugenu is not able to fire down onto those archers at all right now, and the Shugenu mass is just getting cleaned up.
Yep, and we see more and more sofas coming, and the Zugu mass is gone, and kind of as expected. I don't see a way. B's gonna just kind of probably GG here momentarily. There's not much he can do here. He just doesn't have. He's losing a lot of villagers. He's got 21 military to the 45. Sofas have all their armor techs. No poison arrows, so that's the only benefit here.
I mean, the counter argument to that is like, why do you need it? Do you need to overkill the Shugenus more?
It's fun, that's why. It's fun to see purple arrows.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
it's like, as we're saying, right, these sofas, they don't care, they're tanking up so much. A couple of horses are out in the field to try to protect them. Oh, he will get... I was about to say we'll get that convert, but... 2-2.
Yeah, so we're going to 2-2 for Vortix and B. And we're going to be going into game number 5 here momentarily. Who's co-casting? Magical Cow.
Oh.
So now this is the deciding game for both players. And this series has gone how I expected. I just want to state that. It's been very aggressive play from both sides. I think their longest game was like 20 minutes. And yeah, I mean, it's just been a very aggressive series. You're not seeing any of that late game shenanigans that you see everywhere else. And
it's nice. It's really nice.
How was Lucifron versus Puppy? I'll tell you after this series. That's the next series we're going over.
Yeah, as we're talking about, final game is the decider. Luckily, there is the losers bracket, so it still can do a redemption run a little bit.
So now here's an interesting matchup. So this is game number 5 between Vortix and 3DB. We have Abbasid Dynasty from Vortix, and we have French from B. Now this is a matchup that I think is really bad for French, but this map may be the only potential exception to this rule, because you get the initial sheep. Look at wow. Oh well, okay, no. Here's I was like, wow, that's a very far. I was gonna be like, what? Okay, no. So he's got his one deer pack, or not deer pack, his berry pack, and his sheep. But once those run out, he's gonna need to go out here to start gathering food, and that's where French can be the strongest because they can raid.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm impressed B didn't move out just immediately, but yeah, there we go. He is so nice and just taking those fish right now. He's just chilling. Yeah, look at how quickly they gather, right? The reason they were moving back right there is because they were full inventories, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's how quick they gather, right? You can't even build a mill quickly enough. And yes, you do chew through them so damn quickly, and a wheelbarrow as well.
I think that was a misclick. He canceled it. I think he meant to get... Well, I thought he was going to get survival techniques, but no, I'm not sure.
It doesn't work on shoreline fish.
Oh, really? It doesn't? Okay, I did not know that.
No, I'm pretty sure nothing affects shoreline fish gathering.
Yeah, so
Regardless, though, fish super good. Should definitely do it. And as the French, right, you will naturally be getting that map pressure and really taking over the map. Abbasids, they don't really do that. So yeah, definitely good.
yeah, I'll be curious
What
what.
a wing.
Oh, he's probably. I'm anticipating Eco Wing, but maybe he tries military. I'm personally in this matchup. I would just go Eco Wing. I think. I think it's just getting those cheaper town centers and houses and farms is really nice. This map is where, like I said, French can really benefit over here because yeah, you can get a town center here and maybe you get these 4 shoreline fish, but knights can raid and they can be a real terror on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing with this map as well, right? It's
Ooh,
different from how other. Oh, okay. I
military
like it.
wing.
I like it. But yeah, this map, right? It's different from other maps in the fact that now you're, instead of being across of each other, you're actually like parallel to each other. So moving out on the map really hurts, especially when you have such mobile units against you as the French does have with those knights. And yeah, there's a lot of resources out there, but gotta be willing to take the risk and take them.
Yeah, and it looks to me like B is planning on getting a second town center. Kind of interesting that he dropped the mining camp on stone, but then he doesn't have any villagers on stone. And did both players go only 1 scout? Yeah, they both only went 1 scout, which is, kind of interesting. On this map, I feel like it's almost like prairie in that I like going 2 scouts just to get those extra sheep. But since they
Yeah.
both went 1, I anticipate they'll both be pretty even when it comes to sheep here. I mean, Vortix has 15. And if we look at B, he's got 17. So, it's the nice benefit that both went 1 scout. But I think if one went both, they'd have more scout or more sheep.
Yeah, it's the same, right? And B, right? He's moved out onto this fish, so he will always have those sheep to fall back to. Yeah, still curious about this build by B here. Probably just dropped the mining camp and then probably realized that he needs a little bit more foods, a little bit more woods to actually get out a knight immediately. We do see that wheelbarrow is in queue though, so we will be getting it still.
Yeah, this is actually this is actually a pretty fast age up when you think about it from B. Getting it done at 410 with 3 villagers, good timing, considering, especially when you moved your villagers over here. So first, oh, horseman coming out, not a knight. That's an interesting decision. I wonder why he didn't do the knight.
Eco upgrades, I guess? I mean, he does have broad axe in the queue, so probably the reason? But yeah, as you probably just realized now what he did. But yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, right? He definitely did scout the fact that he did go for the military wing. So you probably just want to get... Yeah, it will be obliterated by those spears anyways.
Yeah, so he did scout the army coming across as well, so he knows. So he's got some archers incoming. He's got to get those to take care of it. So I definitely don't hate this play by Vortix. Going military wing. It does force an archery range. It's going to delay that second TC from B, and you can take him off the early shoreline fish as well. So it's kind of a win-win there, at least in that aspect. Interestingly enough, we do see an archer and a barracks from Vortix, but he's not going for a second TC. He has no villagers on stone at all. He's just got a bunch on wood and 2 on gold, and obviously the amount on food.
So it was something something Valdemar actually, he did a guide on it, which is where I usually get most of my information from, which is those guides. He was the one who really nailed down how to do the military wing into 2 town center as the Abbasid. So I'm very surprised Vortex doesn't go for that, considering how much map pressure I actually has gotten, and now we'll be moving out on that stone.
There we go. Yeah, definitely an interesting decision. He is trying to take this fight here, but looks like he is going to slightly win this fight. I'm not sure. No, we have another horseman incoming, so okay, so that should be enough. And B here is also going for stone. So they're both going 2 TCs. The thing is, Vortix is super late. I mean, you want this normally a minute ago, not,
Yeah.
you know, it's not. He's not going to start this till 7 minutes at the earliest, and French might actually get his second TC going a little earlier. He is going to. He only needs 30 more stone.
Yeah.
And
So here, I mean, I do feel though. I mean, looking at the dare placement, right, or dare spawns, B has a much better second TC position here, on that very close dare patch. Will then be securing, of course, a lot of wood, some shoreline fish as well. Vortex doesn't have the same luxury, right? He needs to move quite far out if he does want to secure a dare, which is a lot further forward as well. So
yeah, I would have preferred him to take this position here. He's next to some stone, wood, and 2 shoreline fish. This is very far forward. Like, this is... If B goes for a feudal age, you know, aggression, this town center, look at how far away it is from the main. Like, look at all these, you know, the production buildings. It's quite a trek.
It's 2 screens away. So yeah, ram push here could definitely be deadly for Vortex.
Yeah, and this second TC for B should get up first.
Still no knights though, which is worth noting.
Yeah,
just completely ignored it.
Yeah, it is interesting. You know, he's not gathering any gold, so I guess it makes sense. He's preferring to get his ecotex. So I guess that's why he's going to keep doing the horseman spam. But yeah, definitely a very unusual way to play French. You don't normally see that. You almost always see, you know, knights and archers, even when going 2TC as French.
Yeah, I'm a little bit unsure. He does. I mean, wait. Has Vortex actually gotten the upgrades for the military wing? So he does have that better.
Yeah, he did. Yep, he got that upgrade. He got that immediately upon aging.
So definitely will be helping out in a fight that could happen very soon. Now moving out a lot onto gold here. Hello.
Yeah, that's 13 villagers on gold. I'm assuming we're going to see some... I'm assuming we're going to start seeing knights. I just can't see this being a fast castle. That would be very surprising to me. But I guess we'll see what B's planning here. I mean, we aren't seeing any other further production. We do see a blacksmith, but no blacksmith techs yet. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
First knight in production and more archers.
So, yeah, that's the thing with going costless, the French, right? It's quite meh, right? Because either you go the Royal Institute, which you need to have enough knights to actually make value out of, and he doesn't have any knights right now, but he will be getting a couple of raids. So...
Yeah, and he did get a villager, so that's nice. Spearmen are out of position here, so B's going to be able to snipe these or put these on super low health. These archers are forced back. Luckily, there's the town center here that will help, but still that gold is going to be denied. And yeah, still no extra production buildings from B yet, but he does have a little bit of a stronger army, I would say. And I think he's going to start floating a ton of gold here shortly as well. I really don't know why he's putting 12 on gold, but maybe that's what he needs.
It's the amount you need to sustain 2 stables.
Are you sure?
It will be... Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
I'm pretty sure 12 villagers is overkill for 2 stables, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe. I mean, it's definitely overkill when you have the ecotex. So yeah. But B, he's taking a pretty good fight here, despite having inferior infantry. He's fighting between the 2 town centers, right? And as you said, if the town center was in a closer position, it would be a lot harder to actually take this fight. But he's fine just splitting off the town centers right now.
Yeah, and I think there's a bit of mismicro from Vortix as well. Like, I mean, not necessarily mismicro, but he is rallying units to their death. He has his army split up, so he's trying to get them together, but every time he tries, B cuts one off. Looks like he might be able to get one up here as well. And, ooh, nope, not a stick out kill. And here's the other fight.
I feel like for what he has right now, he doesn't have enough spearmen to actually be able to deal. Like, yeah, he doesn't have the knight mass to actually fight against right now, but the horsemen still doing a lot of damage here.
Yeah, we see 3 stable productions now for B, so we're going to see a lot more knights incoming, and the spearman count is at 5, so he still has 5 spears, but that's not enough for 2 knights and some archers and horsemen. But he will force B back for now.
Yeah, he did clean up the archer mask quite decently here though for B, so he does have to remake that one. But if we do that a couple of times, Vortix, not too sure about that one. So, but once again, right, he did go for the military wing, which does mean that the infantry has 25 extra health?
No, it's. I don't think it's
10.
that much. I
No,
think
it's 10 and 14.
it's
10 and
80 to
14.
70. Yeah, so 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was 25, that would be probably a little overpowered potentially.
Yeah, I don't remember the
That's okay. I don't
But
know the numbers either. But now we're seeing, Vortix is starting to get that other shoreline fish. Villager lead is almost 10 for B, although even though he's only killed one villager, but I'm assuming it's because of that faster town center build time for French. Military-wise, Vortix is technically in the favor by numbers, but B's ahead by resources. He's got 7 knights right now, and there's only 12 spears. 12 spears is not
yeah,
enough.
and has every single upgrade on the planet. The only thing is, I think the only thing he's missing is battering rams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is literally the only upgrade he's missing, and Vortex isn't that far behind though. He's getting his +1 melee damage, and he might get the armor next.
Phalanx is as well, right? Which definitely does help out a lot, especially in these fights. But it's a very scary time right now for Vortex because he has moved out to those areas that is just completely unprotected. The only thing that's there is really the army right now, but knights.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna have free reign onto those archers right now.
Yeah, there's really, I think V's gonna take this fight. He's gonna take out the spears. He just has enough knights, and look at those spearmen fall.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Did a knight? Okay, a knight did die there.
Okay.
And now he's got archers against 9 knights, and his reinforcements are broken apart.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I feel like a lot of these fights and how they've actually just went and how they've been dictated is the fact that where that second town center has been placed. And now,
Yep.
of course, when the food has run out, which you burn through quite quickly right now, the second town center, where are you gonna go?
Yeah, I mean, he still has 3 shoreline fish, which is nice. Well, 2 really, but yeah, that's the thing. This town center really, I think, was definitely a bait and has hurt him hurt Vortex a lot more because his reinforcements, he keeps trying to get them together, and look at that, they're split apart again, and Vortex is like, he's kind of getting desperate, so he's going to send his archers out to try to harass, because he knows that B's probably going to be moved out over to these shoreline fish, but how's he going to deal with this army when his whole army is not there?
Yeah, speaking of those eco and the ponds, right? B has done a really good job of just splitting himself and just spreading out as actually much as possible here. He's on 3 different ponds at the same time, not burning through one after the other, which does make these raids that does happen from Vortex a lot more or a lot less effective. But at the same time, yeah, no rams needed to actually be taking down this town center. He doesn't care.
13 knights against 14 spearmen and a bunch of archers. It's like he's trying to harass and kill villagers, but look at this. Knights being rallied backwards, and guess what? 17 archers? I don't think they beat 2 knights, but even if they did, there's a 3rd knight on the way.
Yeah, those archers at this point, it's really just looking to do some eco damage. He doesn't care about them anymore, because he needs to be caring about the second town center that is still being burnt down. Yeah, the Vortex, it looks good on paper, but again, right, you have knights just churning through the second town center. Insufficient wood too, so can't even repair it if he wants to, and he tries his best.
Yeah, and you just see the amount of villagers
yeah.
killed here. 15 each. Second town center has gone down, and just knights are taking care of the army over here. Like, the archers are all the way, kind of over here on their own. But yeah, I mean, Vortex's army count is just dropping more and more. He's super behind by villagers. I'm just not. I don't see a way Vortex is really going to do much here. There's even more. I mean, just look at this. The stream of units. 5 more knights coming in as reinforcements, and 7 spears is just not going to cut it. We only have, we have 4 barracks, but I think at this point it's just snowballing.
Yeah, the only real saving grace for Vortex right now, I don't think B actually has chivalry, and even if it did, he's just constantly fighting, so it never really would proc in, and luckily for him, it doesn't affect them in combat. But yeah, look at this right now. Again, right, this entire archer mass. It was cleaned up in the base, and then they moved out with a second archer mass, which is now just being cleaned up. And well, he's gotten 3 more villager kills. Good, but he's throwing away so many resources in these archers.
Yeah, and he's got... That's 16. He's got 24 knights.
Why? Look at Vortix. He's moved out all the way over to B side there on.
Yeah, he's just desperate for food. He's running out. He doesn't have many sheep left. He's got 6 sheep at most. 22 knights in his base at the moment, and he's got 23 spears.
Yeah, I don't think you need the archers anymore. You can just throw them away and still win. Yeah, as you said, right, the stream of units, textiles coming through for good measure, chivalry as well. Knights are actually in a pretty bad position. He's able to just sneak out of it, though.
Yeah, and we see another attempt at raid by Vortix, caught by 2 knights, more than enough to deal with that. You know, Vortex is floating quite a bit of food. He's trying to do a horseman switch, but horsemen aren't going to do anything here. There's 22 knights. That's just too many. Like, I don't think horsemen are going to benefit him much at all here. And actually, it's 28 knights, really. There's just some over here.
Yeah, they're just chilling. But yeah, again, right, Vortex sneaking out on that berry patch doesn't cross B's mind, and, well, luckily for Vortex. He's still fighting, though. Again, right, it's game number 5. It doesn't really want to go down to the loser's bracket. They're just really fighting, seeing if B does make a mistake, and he's definitely hoping that these spearman numbers and the horses mixed in can deal with the knight raids. B does have the battering ram research, but still not dropping any, and look at him go. He's now he's hurting for food, right? Moving out into this berry patch. He's trying to defend it as much as possible, but the knights right now, they're just doing so much work, distracting the entire army right now. Could be a bad fight for B, though.
Yeah, 36 spears, but there's still 23 knights, 23 archers, so it's going to go fine. As long as the archers focus fire, the spears, like these horsemen, there's just not really that much. I mean, that is a ton of spears, but I think that lack of food is really showing for Vortex here. Like, he's actually tried to go to those berries, but those 2 knights were over there, so he was forced to go away. And, you know, this fight is going as good as it can for Vortex, but the problem is he doesn't have the food to reinforce his army, and he realizes that and calls GG.
Good game. B comes out ahead on this series. A hard-fought one. Vortex really trying hard, but sadly will be knocked down to loser's bracket.
Yep, that is a clean 3-2 by B, so B will be going to